Well, hello, my friends, and welcome to Empower Your Amazing Life Story, Embracing Our Wholeness and Expanding Our Horizons YouTube channel. And my name is Mercy Martinez. Today's podcast is Own Your Story. Empower your story. Empower your life. You know, we started 2019 with setting up goals and resolutions for this amazing new year. And I had spoke before in other podcasts about honoring our blocks and limitations, about embracing our uniqueness, and how to respect our voice. So we can break our limitations and expand our horizons and work towards meeting and actualizing our goals and resolution for 2019. And sometimes it's difficult because of all that is going on around in our external world, the things that we have to accomplish to live life, right? We have to pay bills, we have to pay the rent, and we have to pay the utilities, and so forth. Not only that, we also have the obligations of, for a lot of us, life with families and relationships. There is a Edgar Casey reading. For those who don't know about Edgar Casey, I would encourage you to look at his website, www.edgarcasey.org, and you will find a great source of information there. He left us 14,000 readings in the 1930s and 40s that are still full of treasures that are still helping us in our personal and spiritual growth. One of them is one interesting one because I keep it consciously in my awareness, especially when we are tied into all these social media and all the news around us. And this is what he said. Let us not worry about what others are doing, apparently in opposition to our purpose. But let us look rather to what we ourselves are doing in relation to our purpose. If we fulfill our purpose to the best of our abilities, then others, seeing, will take hope also. Such direct and such an important message, because we are bombarded with stresses of the outside world, the external world. And as much as you want to unplug from it, it's sometimes unavoidable. And before we know it, we get into, we derail, let's say, our focus of doing what is ours to do, empowering our story, empowering our life. And we start getting into the neighbors or into those other stories. And before we know it, we start giving our power away. And in this month of February, we are bombarded with messages of love because of St. Valentine's. We're looking at love, love, love. But if we are not owning our story, if we are not working consciously in an awake state, knowing why we are doing what we're doing each day and why we're thinking the way we're thinking, we continuously and unconsciously, unintentionally most of the time, give our power away to all those external forces. I would like to work a little bit more on this topic today. And so I'm sharing a little bit more about empowerment. You know, empowerment comes to us when we empower ourselves. No one gives us the power. No one comes in and says, Mercy, you are very powerful. Unless I give that person that power. We may think the external world provides the power, but truly, they have no power unless you allow it. If you don't give your power away to that external world, meaning they do not tell me if I'm powerful, I determine my power. That's empowerment. Empowerment comes from our own inner courage of standing in our own truth, in owning our story, in owning our life without being shameful or feeling shameful for it, being shame about it, taking the courage to see the truth, knowing that we have the ability to experiment, explore, and wonder. And so that social consciousness of being loved or being liked is part of giving away our power. I assure you, we can be loved and liked by that social consciousness without us giving our power away. But truly, it starts by owning our own story. You know, you can see it today in most big scandals of the media, big, powerful stars. Sometimes you'll see it where when they know bad story of them is going to go out, what do the PR people recommend? Go ahead of those who are going to tell on you, confess before it comes out. That is really the key, because what you're saying to the world is, I know I made this mistake, and before someone else takes my power away, I'm going to own it. That's empowerment. You see, that is true power. So when PR individuals, the public relations team of a star, for example, that's more into the gossip places of people wanting to know all their ins and outs of life, and all of a sudden create an idol that they never asked to be put in pedestal. And then all of a sudden the public and their fans see that it's an imperfect human being just like anyone else, because we're all human beings experimenting in this life. If that star, that public figure takes control, it's empowered, they will own their mistakes in front of anyone. And they will ride the difficulty with superhero powers. You know why? Because no one gave them the power. They did not let their power be taken away from them. They own their story. And this is beyond public relations. This is the truth. At the core of our power is our own empowerment. It only occurs if we take on, stand on, and acknowledge that our story, our life is ours, nobody else's. It's about really taking the courage that even if I'm afraid of owning my story and my outcomes, I still have the opportunity to embrace all those fears, take the courage, because it's inside of me too. And by embracing, excuse me, by embracing all those experiences as part of me, as part of the part of me that like to explore. We all human beings, we wonder, we explore, we experiment. And surely not all the outcomes will be perfect per se. And I say per se because perfection depends on the who's seeing or defining that word, right? If we are trying something new, it may take several tries to get it as an outcome that we really consider perfect because it just hits the mark. So embracing, excuse me, embracing our experiences for what they truly are is truly empowerment. To truly embrace our innate ability to explore and to experiment is truly self-love. And I'll say to you, self-love is the most powerful love that you can ever experience. The reason is ours. It has no other influence but ours. That's why it's so powerful. It is always within our reach because it's deep within our hearts. And whenever we are open to go deep into our hearts, we find the most empowering and the most unconditional, powerful love that we can ever experience. It truly frees us. And it's something that needs to be experienced to really understand. We know we learn from experimentations for the adventure and the wonder of trying things out and seeing if it suits us or not is truly what our human experience is all about. Life is not about judging us or others, but instead of defining us, discerning what direction we want our story to move towards. Think about that. Discerning what direction we want our story to move towards. It's just as simple of stopping, taking a deep breath, reevaluating, retweaking, and figuring out if something did not work out for us, what's the next step we want to take? Versus judging us, negating the results, and giving our power away to others that are judging us or um, pushing us to do things that it's not ours to do. Really, owning our story opens the door to self-healing, to mending, and to bringing to wholeness all the pieces of us that we have judged, or maybe we have condemned of ourselves or negate, and even we have hidden into a space of unconditional love. It's those places I hear my clients say that I hate of myself. I hate this part of me. And when I was a young mother, not too young, and my son would say to me continuously, I hate this or I hate that. And I would say, you don't hate, you dislike. But truly, unconsciously, I was also influencing him not to say his truth. So later on in life, I realized that if his emotion was of hate at that moment, that he should ignore it, he should acknowledge and embrace it. And that way he could transform it and learn from it. So when I'm saying own our story opens the door to self-healing, it sure does. It has happened for me as I travel this 20-year plus working on with clients as life coach and mentor and hypnotherapist doing past life regressions. As I created this Empower Your Amazing Story program and process, I truly have walked the talk. And every time that I have acknowledged my mistakes, my mishaps, my outcomes that didn't come out quite like I would have wanted them, and I have forgiven myself and I have embraced myself, I have felt the freedom And I have felt the empowerment that comes from that. It helps you free yourself from all those outside external attachments that we have created. And it helps you bring yourself into fullness of your story, of owning it with no mishaps. Meaning, when I own my story, I know that the perfection is within me as much as a human being can be perfect. I also know that I love, 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 love to create. And to be able to be creative, you have to accept that there will be stuff that may not be as pleasant because you're experimenting. Every time you're creating, you're experimenting. You're exploring with new ingredients. And the outcome is not given. Huh? It's not say, hey, 2 and 2 is 4. But when I start creating with the different ingredients, I don't know what color will show up. And that is where the magic of living life is really about. And that empowering and that owning of our own story opens the world. It opens and expands our horizons. It starts to bring us to the discovery of our own deep love stored within our own heart, that we can engage into with this deep self-love within us and discover how transformative it truly is, how it heals, mends, and restore my sense of who I am, and gives me the courage to empower my amazing life story. And within that empowerment, I can stand up on my truth. And at the moment that you stand on your truth, it is almost magical, I assure you, where the outside world doesn't control you, but instead you stand firm, feeling the freedom that is empowering your own truth, putting your own shoes to that truth, right? Standing with that courage. And at the same time, that freedom spreads all over your daily life. Whatever they speak about you, it could be hurtful and it may still not be a pleasant situation. But the strength of knowing who I am and empowering and owning my story, my free will to be who I am, makes that such a powerful place to stand that truly protects me from deep wounds. It truly is the best protector force that I could ever have, because it is there where I know that I can stand and I will not be destroyed. It is there where I can be joyful of life, even when there are difficulties and difficult decisions that I have to make. That becomes my core of strength. And because it's within me, because I'm living it, because I am that experience and feeling it to the core of my body, no one can take it away from me. Isn't that powerful? No one can take it away from me because I own my story. I own my mistakes. I own my faults. I also have forgiven myself. I also have acknowledged and corrected wherever I was able to. And in doing that, I have learned such deep lessons that are unmistakably in my memory, in my consciousness. And because of that, my deeper core power ignites even more. Every day that I experience life, my amazing life story gets more powerful and I feel more liberated. I hope I have shared something that invites you to move forward within your own story. There are plenty of resources out there that helps you with integrating your story. Empower Your Amazing Life Story is just one of those processes. And if you are interested, you can always contact me at Mercy. My email, mercy@mercymartinez.com, or my website, www.empoweryouramazing.lifestory.com. But there's also great resources out there. And I would suggest to just Google because there's so many of them. And I would like to say one of the ones that come to my mind right now. I think it's her name, Katie Brody, and it's called The Work. She also has an amazing transformational process. And so there is a whole great work of many people that I'm sorry I didn't list them or didn't bring it with me to record today so that I could list them for you. But as soon as you Google it, you'll find them. Even Bradshaw and the Inner Child is a great work too. But whatever you choose, whatever resonates to you, I encourage you to start empowering your amazing life story. Take ownership of your story, because as soon as you start doing that, you will not only see, but you will experience the transformational self-healing that you will experience, and the powerful um, experience of owning your power and not letting your power be given away. It is the best gift that you can do for yourself. And in this February, where we're talking about self-love, what better self-love than empowering ourselves and igniting that power that we already have truly. It's not that it's something new. We already have it. It's in our core. It's just owning it and discovering it and empowering it and making sure that each moment of your life, you're conscious of it. Well, I hope this was, as I said, helpful. Again, if you have any questions or comments, you can always put it in the comment section of this YouTube channel. You can follow me in the Facebook page, Empower Your Amazing Life Story. You can also email me, mercy@mercymartinez.com, or visit the website, empoweryouramazing.lifestory.com. Thank you for listening and giving me this opportunity to share with all of you. I also invite you to subscribe to this channel so you can receive notification of all my new shows as I publish them. And I truly hope that you have a spectacular week and an empowering one.